Some games can be quite difficult, and reaching the end of them can be more than some players can handle. Now, some games can be so tricky that you might get a game over screen before you've even started playing. That's right, there are games that you could fail before you've even gotten past the introduction. And to prove this point, here are 7 examples. First, let's go all the way back to 1984 for one of the first action games ever made, Katka. Now, your goal in this game is to karate kick people in the face en route to saving a princess. However, when you start the game, you can see that there's a rather steep cliff right behind you. If you let the intrusive thoughts win and inch your way backwards off of that cliff, welp, that's the end. Now, that wasn't much of a heroic journey now, was it? Star Trek Borg is a choose-your-own-adventure FMV game, where you play as a cadet who is given the chance to go back in time and save their father by longtime Star Trek favorite character, Q. However, at the beginning of the game, you are given a choice by Q. Come with him to fight the Borg, or take your bag and evacuate the ship like you were told to. If you choose to grab your stuff and leave, well, you get this ending.
It looks like I misjudged you. You're only interested in saving your own skin. And to think I went to so much trouble to arrange it all.
Come on, Cadet, you're... Q! Intruder alert, deck 6.
Don't even bother.
There's nothing like being dressed down by an intergalactic godlike being, is there? We Happy Few is a game all about refusing to take your government-mandated happy drugs and trying to discover the disturbing truth behind the creepy society, Wellington Wells. Or you could just say screw that and continue taking your happy drugs. In which case, your character says,
"Snug as a bug on a drug."
And we cut the credits with your character presumably never waking up and never finding out the truth. I guess this is what would have happened if Neo took the blue pill. Doki Doki Literature Club is, it's something. A seemingly innocent dating sim that took the internet by storm a few years ago. You play as a student who's simply trying to join a literature club. And then you discover a whole lot of messed up fourth wall breaking stuff. One of the characters, Monica, has a pretty commanding presence over the entire game. So if you decide to go fooling around in the game's files and delete Monica's character, Sayori is promoted to club president. But apparently that promotion also came with all of Monica's self-awareness as she freaks out, and that leads to, well, you know, I'm not gonna show it. Let's just say it gets really dark. Undertale is a game that's got a whole bunch of dark lore hidden underneath the cheery facade. And one mystery that hasn't really been solved is what's going on with the weird character Gaster. He's a scientist whose fate is kind of hard to explain. He fell into a machine and stuff happened, and now he's just sort of everywhere. He's a very enigmatic character who the game itself kind of seems afraid of. Case in point, when it comes time to name your character, if you choose to name yourself Gaster, the whole game decides to just start over. That's kind of weird. Persona 5 is a very, very long game, but depending on how you answer a question right at the start, it could be over before it ever gets going. During the intro, the game gives you a disclaimer that tells you that the events of Persona 5 aren't real, and that they're just a work of fiction. It will then ask you if you accept these terms, and if you refuse to, then the game won't even let you play it.
Everything that happens from here on in is real. Is that your cognition of this? Then unfortunately, I cannot allow you to partake of this game. I must ask that you leave.
So much for my suspension of disbelief. Finally, in Fallout 4, the story starts off with a bang with a massive nuclear explosion that drives you and everyone in town to head down into a vault for safety. However, if you decide that surviving isn't really that important to you, you could just wander around town for a bit, take in the sights, maybe see some cars and such. And it's all nice and peaceful, and there's the nuclear explosion. However, if you think about what happens if you do go into the vault and survive way into the future, maybe getting blown up by a nuclear explosion is a more merciful way to go. For more gaming news and guides, be sure to check out thegamer.com. I'm Jamie Latour. and we'll see you next time.